You can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't touch it, but it's around you 24/7. Your phone, your smart meter, even your baby monitor, all quietly emitting invisible energy. When you step outside, power lines, cell towers, and even satellites overhead are doing the same. But here's the question almost no one is asking. What is this constant exposure actually doing to your biology? And is it possible to protect yourself without ditching modern life? In this video, we're going deep into everything you need to know about electromagnetic fields, EMFs, where we'll break down the science behind the EMF exposure, the difference between natural and man-made sources, the impact of non-native EMFs on human health, and most importantly, how you can protect yourself and your loved ones effectively without needing to escape modern life. So why do we even care about EMF? To understand why EMFs matter, we have to zoom way out and then all the way in. At the cosmic scale, EMF or electromagnetic force is one of the four fundamental forces of the universe, alongside gravity, the strong force, and the weak force. These invisible forces govern everything from how galaxies spin to how atoms hold together. The same principle holds true at the atomic level, the fundamental building blocks of everything we see and touch in life, including ourselves. That's right, like everything else, you are made of atoms. Atoms form molecules, molecules form cells, cells build tissues, tissues become organs, and together they form what we call the human body. This is what you look like at the atomic level. At the center of each atom is a dense nucleus made of protons and neutrons, held together by the strong force. But it's the electromagnetic force that governs the electrons spinning in orbit around that nucleus and how they absorb or emit light. This interaction determines an atom's size, shape, and how it reacts chemically with others. So EMF is where light and matter meet and interact. It's the foundation of all chemistry and all biology. All your organs rely on EMF. Your brain, your heart, your hormones, your thoughts and emotions, all of them depend on electromagnetic signaling. Every cell and every nerve in your body communicates and fires electromagnetically based on electric potential. In essence, we don't just live in an electromagnetic field, we are electromagnetic beings. So understanding EMF isn't just about technology. It's about tuning in to the invisible force that governs life itself and learning how to live in alignment with it and unlock its full potential. So what's natural or native EMF? Not all EMFs are harmful. In fact, some are not only natural, they are essential to life. To understand this, let's look at the entire electromagnetic spectrum. On the low end, you have extremely low frequencies, ELF. Then you move up through radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible light, then ultraviolet, X-rays, and gamma rays at the very high end. But not all of these frequencies reach Earth. Thanks to Earth's protective magnetosphere, only a tiny portion of the full spectrum filters through, specifically the frequencies that support and sustain life on Earth. This include sunlight, visible light, infrared, and just enough UV to stimulate biology. We discussed the importance of sunlight in the last video, The Truth About Artificial Blue Light. You can watch via the link above. The next is Schumann resonance, a standing wave that vibrates around 7.83 Hz in the space between Earth's surface and the ionosphere. Our brain waves, heart rhythm, and cellular communication naturally sync to this gentle grounding frequency. The Earth also has its own electromagnetic field, generated deep within the planet's molten core. This geomagnetic field is what birds navigate with and what your body uses to orient itself regulate blood flow, and maintain cellular balance. Together, these are what we call native EMFs, and our biology has evolved in harmony with them for millions of years. Next, what's non-native EMF and what are they in the modern world? If native EMFs are the natural life-supporting frequencies we've evolved with, the non-native EMFs are everything outside that. Man-made electromagnetic radiation that didn't exist for most of human history. In the last 150 years, and especially the last 30, we've blanketed our environment with artificial EMFs across nearly the entire spectrum. Let's break this down by their applications and where they fall on the electromagnetic spectrum. Cell phones and mobile networks. They use radio frequency radiation, typically in the 700 MHz to 2.6 GHz range for 4G, and up to millimeter waves 24 to 86 GHz for 5G. These signals are pulsed and modulated, very different from natural light. Cell towers, satellites. These constantly emit RF and microwave radiation from all directions, including those low Earth orbit satellites, which now beam signals globally. Unlike the sun's coherent light, these signals are non-stop, chaotic, and biologically unfamiliar. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and wireless devices. Your router, earbuds, smartwatches, and other Bluetooth-enabled gadgets operate in the 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz range, squarely in the microwave band. These frequencies were originally used in radar, and now they're pulsing through your home 24/7. Microwave ovens, smart meters, and smart appliances. Microwave ovens emit radiation at 2.45 GHz, and while shielded, they still leak. Smart meters, smart fridges, and Internet of Things appliances use IF and microwave bands to communicate wirelessly, often without your knowledge or consent. Dirty electricity, power lines, and home wiring. Most of our homes and cities run on alternating current, AC, at 50 or 60 Hz, whereas our bodies run on direct current, DC, a steady flow of bioelectricity at no Hz. When AC electricity runs through walls and appliances, it generates oscillating electromagnetic fields. When modern devices like dimmer switches, solar inverters, or smart appliances rapidly switch current on and off, they create a high-frequency transients that ride on top of the standard 50-60 Hz signal. And that is what we call dirty electricity, bursts of chaotic electromagnetic noise in the kilohertz to megahertz range, constantly pulsing through your home. So what does non-native EMF do to our biology? When we live immersed in a sea of man-made EMFs, we begin to experience subtle and sometimes not so subtle disruptions in our biology. Let's break it down. Number one, it disrupts our relationship with natural light. You can live in a sunny place like Los Angeles, get plenty of sun exposure, even a nice tan, and still taste low in vitamin D. Why? Because non-native EMFs change the way your body absorbs and interprets sunlight. Your skin's ability to convert UVB rays into vitamin D depends on a healthy electrical environment. But when you are bathed in non-native EMF from cell towers, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, etc., your voltage-gated calcium channels become overstimulated. This triggers oxidative stress and inflammation, impairing mitochondrial function, and ultimately blocking your ability to respond to sunlight properly. So you might see the sun, but your cells can't. Number two, it affects oxygen delivery in the blood. Hemoglobin, the molecule in red blood cells that carries oxygen, is sensitive to electromagnetic fields. That's because oxygen itself is paramagnetic. It's drawn towards EMF fields. In a high EMF environment, oxygen gets pulled and redistributed unnaturally, disturbing normal delivery to tissues. This contributes to symptoms like chronic fatigue, poor recovery, and even anxiety. not because you lack oxygen, but because your cells can't access it properly. Number 3, damage your mitochondria, the engines of your health. Your mitochondria are like tiny batteries in every cell of your body except red blood cells. They produce ATP, the energy that powers everything you do: thinking, healing, digesting, feeling, detoxifying. They also produce structured water for energy storage and self-communications. To work well, mitochondria rely on precise electrical signaling, clean energy flow, and low entropy environments. The non-native EMFs introduce electrical chaos. They disrupt the natural flow of electrons and protons, and that throws mitochondrial function out of sync. Specifically, non-native EMFs disrupts mitochondrial membrane potential, the voltage gradient mitochondria need to generate energy efficiently. They trigger excess calcium influx into the cells through voltage-gated calcium channels, overwhelming signaling pathways. And they cause the leakage of reactive oxygen species, ROS, a form of oxidative stress that damages cells and DNA. They impair ATP production, reducing your energy at the most fundamental level. They also reduce the production of cellular water, dehydrating your cells from the inside out. This impairs everything from cell signaling to detoxification to nutrient transport. When your mitochondria are struggling, everything else follows, because energy is the currency of health. No energy, no healing. Number 4, it dims your inner light and it distorts your personal electromagnetic field. Every cell in your body emits biophotons and electromagnetic field from your mitochondria. This light and EMF play a key role in cell-to-cell communication, coherence, and even consciousness. But non-native EMFs interfere with this subtle signaling. They generate noise in your body's bioelectrical system, distorting your natural frequencies, including your brainwaves and heart rhythms. As a result, you may notice mental fog, trouble focusing, remembering, or thinking clearly. Mood instability, feeling anxious, flat, or emotionally disconnected. Heart-brain disconnection, difficulty assessing intuition, empathy, or joy. This isn't just psychological, it's electromagnetic. When your natural field is scrambled, your body and mind lose coherence. The nerve systems can't regulate properly, hormone signals get confused, and the light-based communication that supports higher thought and emotional clarity starts to fade. It becomes harder for you to connect to your true self and the outer world. Even practices like meditation or prayer can feel frustrating or disconnected. Not because you're doing it wrong, but because the inner noise is too loud. Your access to the quantum field, intuition, divine, and even your sense of spiritual presence becomes clouded. You're still connected, but the signal is jammed. To receive clearly, your internal environment must be still, like tuning a quiet video to hear the station of your soul. Now, let's talk about how to mitigate non-native EMF while living a modern life. You don't have to move to a cave or throw your phone away into the ocean, but you do need to be intentional about how you interact with modern technology. Here's how to reclaim your biology in an EMF-saturated world. Number 1, maximize distance, the inverse square law. EMF strength drops off exponentially with distance. Even moving your phone just a few feet away and moving your bed away from the electrically wired walls can drastically reduce your exposure. Rule of thumb, distance is your friend. So keep devices off your body and out of your bedroom. Number 2, hardwire your home. Ditch Wi-Fi and connect with Ethernet cables. Use wired keyboards, mice, and even headphones. Bluetooth is constant radio frequency. Disable Bluetooth permanently if you can. Turn off your Wi-Fi router at night if you must keep it. Number 3, eliminate smart tech. Smart appliances emit unnecessary radiation 24/7, often for features you never use. Unplug or chip remove smart fridges, ovens, and even smart meters. Opt out where possible. Avoid microwaves altogether. They are literally designed to agitate water molecules. Number 4, change relationship with your phone. Phones are powerful RF emitters, especially when using mobile data. Keep your mobile data off and use it for calls only, or switch to airplane mode when not in use. Note, some Apple phones may still emit RF even in airplane mode. You'll need to verify with a tri-field meter. Download podcasts or music and listen offline. Number 5, choose where you live or spend time wisely. Dense urban areas equals high non-native EMF zones. Living near cell towers, 5G antennas, or power substations significantly increase your baseline exposure. Ultimately, you'd want to live somewhere close to nature, meaning less tech and population-dense zones. Number 6, use cold to strengthen your field. Cold exposure activates mitochondrial biogenesis and boosts biophoton emission, your inner light. It improves electrical coherence, reduces inflammation, and strengthens your body's own EMF field, making you more resilient to external chaos. Think cold showers, ice bath, morning walks without layers. Number 7, ground yourself daily. When you touch the earth with bare foot, you absorb free electrons, the natural antioxidants that neutralize excess ROS like free radicals. You also synchronize with the Earth's EMF and the Schumann resonance, which aligns your brainwaves, circadian rhythm, and cellular communication. This helps restore order to your personal field, like a biological reset. The truth is, you are not powerless in this modern, tech-saturated world. You are an electromagnetic being, deeply connected to the Earth, the Sun, and the natural forces that have supported life for millions of years. Yes, non-native EMFs can create chaos in your system, but you don't need to fear them. You just need to respect them. With a few simple shifts and a strategic awareness, you can reclaim your energy, clarity, and vitality. Starting today, starting small. Unplug your Wi-Fi at night, take a barefoot walk in the morning sun, and turn off Bluetooth when you're not using it. Every choice you make brings your biology back into rhythm with nature. And once your body is aligned, everything else flows. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. And if you're ready to go deeper into the world of quantum health, explore other videos on my channel. They go beyond the surface level fixes and help you unlock radiant energy, deep healing, and effortless vitality using nature, physics, and the power already within you. Thank you for watching. Until next time, pay attention to the invisible forces around you and take the power back into your own hands.